It is time to predict the round of 16 fixtures. Now, the group stages was a lot of fun with 24 teams competing, but ultimately only 16 have made it out of the groups and into the first stage of knockouts, which promises to be a lot of fun. But before we jump into that, I'd like to give a shout out to a couple of teams who put in some outstanding performances over the course of the group stage. Number one, Saudi Arabia. Now, Saudi Arabia were the tournament's big surprises, beating Argentina in their first game of the group. They since have lost to Poland and they ended up losing to Mexico, which didn't really do them any favors in terms of qualification, but definitely a big marker for Asian football on the world map. Second, the Cameroonian team, who just bowed out last night. They won the game in dramatic fashion against Brazil, even though it was a second-string Brazil team. But because of the result in the Serbia-Switzerland game, it ultimately put them out. But I believe the Lions can walk away with their heads held high. A great shot from them at this World Cup. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn to my system here and run through some predictions for what I believe would be the likely outcomes for the knockout tournament. So let's get to it. The first fixture of the round of 16 is between the Netherlands and the USA. The USA have been impressive in the fact that they haven't really conceded much. They've been a very tight unit, high pressing, really high work rate. Greg Berhalter, I believe, is the coach. Not the most expansive football played by a US team in some time, but he seems to be getting the job done. But I do believe against the Netherlands is where they ultimately come up short. They have too much quality and they're coached by a manager who has done this rodeo before. So I believe the Netherlands ultimately end up going through. Now, between Argentina and Australia, I would love to predict an upset, but Australia seem to rely heavily on the low block and inviting teams to break them down, which I think Argentina can do in spades, because if you give Messi the space that he needs, he's going to dictate and orchestrate that midfield, and this is going to end up being a cricket score if Australia aren't too careful. So I believe Argentina will win this comfortably 2-0, setting them up for the quarterfinals. Now, between Japan and Croatia, now Japan have possibly been the biggest surprise of this tournament. They beat both Spain and Germany in their run-up to qualification. So one would be foolish to write them off, especially in the round of 16. But coming up against an experienced Croatian side, I do believe that all that rough and tumble football that they play will ultimately go out the window. I see Croatia making it through the stage. Next up, we have Brazil and South Korea. South Korea or the Korea Republic have had a very up and down tournament. Had an absolutely chaotic game against Ghana, a dry rubber of a game against Uruguay, and scoring in the dying minutes against Portugal really set their camp in a light. So they're here, but I think this is kind of where it ends for them, because Brazil are just too strong. It's just too powerful for Korea to overcome. So I think Brazil will make it through here. Now, England-Senegal. Now, this is kind of where it gets interesting. Senegal, who won the AFCON a bunch of times, are missing their star player in Sadio Mane. They did what you expect of them in the group. They beat Qatar and they beat Ecuador, but they ended up losing to the Netherlands. So this is a tricky one to call. I feel if England attack them from the front, there's some joy to be had for them, but this could be one of those upsets. And I'm predicting, this is my spanner in the works. I'm predicting Senegal to win this and go through. I believe England's campaign ends here. Not because they're a bad team. I just think they're badly coached by a manager who will make the wrong decisions and allow Senegal to absolutely draw this game out and possibly even take it to penalties. So, Senegal going through for me. Now, France and Poland, this is a no-brainer. Poland were atrocious against Argentina, who aren't even as good as France. I believe France are clearly the winners in this game, and they're going to progress to the quarterfinals. Morocco, another team that's had a lot of success at the World Cup. They famously dismantled Belgium before going on to secure qualification in the last group stage game. Spain have been very good, or rather they've been slightly hot and cold. They opened up their campaign with a bang, beating Costa Rica 7-0, and then slightly underwhelming performances against Germany and Japan have followed. I like what Luis Enrique has. I like what the kind of style that he's playing. I like the team he's taken and gone. They are a striker shot. Alvaro Morata isn't a guaranteed goal getter if his club form is anything to go by. So I believe, in spite of all those deficiencies, Spain have enough in them to get past Morocco. I see Spain going through. Now, Portugal versus Switzerland. This is going to be another chaotic fixture because Portugal look very good, but if we're being completely honest, they are carrying Cristiano Ronaldo. And Switzerland, on the other hand, are a very efficient, compact unit that gets the job done. They play as a team, and no one person is being carried by the rest of the squad. They famously upset France at the Euros last year. I believe this will be the year they upset Portugal and kick them out of the tournament. I mean, there's a very strong possibility Portugal could sweep Switzerland, but I feel Switzerland has something that could just knock Portugal out of the tournament. Right, so my quarterfinals lineups would ultimately be Netherlands, Argentina, Croatia versus Brazil, Senegal, France, and Spain versus Switzerland. All right, now that sets up an insane quarterfinal clash between a set of teams. I'm excited for it. I'll give you my predictions on it in the next video, and until then, I'll be seeing you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Take care and enjoy the fixtures. See you soon.